What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here with another video, and today we are going to be talking about NFTs, what they are, how they work, what are some use cases, and what the future holds. But before we get to that, if you want to follow along my journey as I build wealth for my family, then subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you don't miss a thing. Remember, none of this is intended to be financial advice. I am merely a guy sitting in front of a computer talking to a camera. Let's get to it. So if you've been around crypto at all, then you've likely heard of the term NFT, which stands for non-fungible tokens. I want to first talk about what NFTs are and the understanding of what NFTs are. So non-fungible tokens basically means it's talking about fungibility. So for instance, something that is fungible, for instance, a dollar, a US dollar, you can take one US dollar and take another US dollar, and though there's some differences in wrinkles and coloration as far as dirt and whatever, they are essentially fungible. $1 is the same as another dollar, is the same as another dollar. The same as a $10 bill is the same as any other $10 bill. Well, non-fungible is the idea that two things are distinctly different. They are different and unique. And so when we're talking about non-fungible tokens, we are talking about something that is unique. So keep that in mind. The way that non-fungible tokens work, think of them as collectibles, or really there's a whole lot of use cases that we're just basically scraping the surface on. Art is an example. An artist creates a digital piece of art and generates an NFT, and then they can sell that. And as soon as they sell that, then somebody else is now the owner of that, because it's all on the blockchain. And so you can see the ownership of that particular piece transferred down the line forever in perpetuity. Some other interesting use cases are tickets. So think about tickets to a Super Bowl game. You know, if those were generated as NFTs, then every single ticket would have a unique digital NFT. Think of that from the perspective of somebody whose team was playing in that particular Super Bowl, and maybe they win. And then whoever bought that ticket to the Super Bowl now has a digital asset that's actually worth some value. And so 10 years down the line, maybe they decide they want to sell that ticket. Now, obviously, it's not going to get them into any more Super Bowls, but somebody who loves the teams that were in that Super Bowl is probably willing to pay a certain amount of money to be the owner of that ticket. Music is another example of how NFTs could be used. So an artist could create a new song, and they could turn that into an NFT and sell the entire rights to their song as a digital NFT. Real estate transactions, think about if you've ever purchased real estate, and a chain of title, a title agent usually gets involved to verify that whoever's selling it actually has ownership of it. Well, if all of that was built into an NFT, then all you would merely have to do is see who owns that NFT by the account holder and who has the private keys to be able to transfer it. Very big thing. But here's the one of the most interesting pieces of an NFT is the fact that you can build in royalties into the sale of an NFT. So for instance, let's think about all of these examples. Let's think about art, for instance. The artist creates a piece of art or a piece of music, and built into the smart contract that handles that NFT, they can say that the original owner will get a 10% royalty every time that that piece is sold. So for hundreds of years down the line, whoever the original owner of that NFT is, every time that that NFT is bought or sold, they will get a royalty in the form of a crypto payment back to the original account holder. So that's huge. Let's talk about this a little more in depth. So right now there are a few different cryptocurrencies that support or will support NFTs. The big one is Ethereum, and that is using their ERC 721 protocol to build NFTs. Unstoppable Domains is an example of an Ethereum NFT. It's a domain that's on the blockchain that can't ever be shut down or taken. I'll have a video at some point talking about an unstoppable domain and how I purchased my own unstoppable domain NFT. CryptoPunks is another big NFT that came out on Ethereum. VeeFriends literally just launched a few weeks ago on the Ethereum network, whole series of NFTs. We're going to talk about some of these here in a little bit. But the big issue I see with Ethereum and their NFTs is the high cost of gas prices. So the gas fees to make those transactions can sometimes be astronomical. So if somebody wanted to buy a $10 piece of art as an NFT, but then there's a $50 gas fee to process the transaction, it's really a detriment to building NFTs on the Ethereum network. Cardano, ADA, is a token that is working on smart contracts, hasn't launched yet, but that's one of the big pushes for ADA, is that their smart contracts are going to be astronomically cheaper than what Ethereum is. And then, of course, you all know my favorite, THETA. THETA, you know, mainnet 3 launches in June. It was supposed to launch in April. They pushed it back. And the reason that they pushed it back was so that they could work on the NFT piece. So NFTs are going to launch on mainnet 3 when mainnet 3 comes out. They're also right now doing a trial run with World Poker Tour, doing digital cards and collectibles using the THETA network, and that's just THETA World WPT.ThetaDrop.com, WorldPokerTour.ThetaDrop.com, and this is literally sort of a first trial run on NFTs with THETA, and we all know that THETA transactions are incredibly fast and incredibly cheap, like fractions of a penny to process a transaction. So when this goes live with mainnet, I've been talking about how THETA, I believe, is about to explode. This is just one reason. The ability to create NFTs and launch them on the THETA network at fractions of a penny for the transactions. So here's an example of an NFT that launched on Ethereum. I believe this was actually the first NFT to launch on Ethereum. And the creators of CryptoPunks basically used AI or computer to generate 10,000 unique characters. See, here's all these characters. And what they did was they gave them away. So that's the interesting piece. They generated these and they gave them away. They could be claimed free for anybody with an Ethereum wallet, but all 10,000 were quickly claimed. Okay, so then the question is, why would they do that? Well, if you remember what I said about royalties, they have royalties built in to each one of these characters. So as these characters get bought and sold, they're getting a royalty fee on that, which is mind-blowing. Overall stats. Current lowest price punk available is $42,000. I can't believe that. $42,000. So lowest price CryptoPunks, $42,000. And let's say that the original owner is getting a 10% royalty. They're getting $4,200 at least every time one of those CryptoPunks is sold. That's incredible. So for instance, if somebody sells one of their CryptoPunks for $42,000, obviously they're not going to get $42,000. They would get $42,852 minus that 10% fee. I mentioned VeeFriends. So just a week ago or 2 weeks ago, Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, launched his NFT project on Ethereum called VeeFriends, and essentially same idea. He's created these characters and he has a plan to use these over the rest of his life. He's 40-something years old, to basically build in value to these VeeFriends. So if you bought a VeeFriend, you get access to a conference for the next 3 years called VCon that he'll be putting on. So it's a ticket. It's obviously a collectible because there are interesting characters: Lunch Ladybug, Breakfast Bat, Brunch Bear. But some of these, like Brunch Bear, Breakfast Bat, you get other benefits as well. Not just VCon, but you get breakfast with Gary Vaynerchuk, or you get brunch with Gary Vaynerchuk. Some of these don't, and you can click on them and they will show you what it is that you get. Verifiable admission to VCon, collectible that lives on the blockchain. So that's basically all you get with this particular one. Some of them entitle you to gifts, so he'll send you 6 gifts per year for the next X number of years. So you can see sort of the creativity that is going into this and how NFTs could be used by big brands in the future. Think about something like Chanel or some of these big clothing companies. What if you bought an NFT, it entitled you to a certain product right then, but then it also entitled you to receive one product a month for the next 2 years or next year or whatever it might be. And let's say somebody bought that and then 6 months later they change their mind, I don't really want it. Let me go sell this over on the open market somewhere. They might recuperate some of their money back or all of their money back, and then somebody else now gets the benefit of the remaining free gifts that are left on that NFT. So it's kind of unique and interesting what the future is going to be with NFTs. You got places like OpenSea, basically a marketplace for NFTs. You can sell art, music, domain names, collectibles. Rarible is another marketplace where people are selling art and different things. And then obviously THETA Drop is another one that will be popping up when Mainnet 3 launches and they release the full capability of NFTs on the THETA network. There are already people that bought some of these VeeFriends when they first came out and have already flipped them on OpenSea for a profit. And that's a whole nother piece of this moving in the future. And then you think about Gary Vee, he has built in royalties into his NFTs. So as people are flipping these tokens, he's getting a cut of every single one of those transactions, which is really mind-boggling when you think about what that could do. Go back to sports cards. People collected sports cards. Well, what if they had a royalty based into each of those cards that in the future, in perpetuity, they would be getting a cut, even if it was 5% or 2% or 10% or whatever it might be. Who knows what? I'm sure that over time a sort of standard royalty fee will be developed. Most of these companies that are creating NFTs will sort of stay in that sweet spot, but time will tell. The future of NFTs are really crazy when you start to think about how this could be used. Really everything. Car titles, instead of selling a vehicle and filling out the title and registration and sending it in. Well, if that was all on the blockchain, then it would really just be a matter of making that transfer, sending it from your wallet to somebody else's wallet, and now they are the owner of that particular NFT. Could be real estate, could be done that way. Really, any sort of ownership data could be done that way. Future of NFTs could really go anywhere, and I'm excited to see what happens with it. And I really believe that THETA and possibly Cardano are going to be high up on that list and will probably surpass Ethereum eventually, unless Ethereum figures out their gas fees, and supposedly they're working on that, but we'll see what happens. If you like this video, please like it, share it with somebody that might want to see it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A big shout out to all the patrons that make this happen on Patreon. If you have any interest in joining Patreon, I put a link in the description. You can go check that out. I put private videos and information about crypto and some other strategies on there. Got another video starting right over here. Go check that one out. I'll see you over there.